own worst critic? I'm willing to bet money that you are. Now you probably think, yeah, absolutely, I'm my own worst critic and that's a good thing. No, it's not. You are your own worst critic. That's the problem. If you were going to hire somebody to be a critic for you, to critique you, to make you better, right? That's what that critic comes from, critique, right? If you were hiring somebody, and would you look for the worst possible critic, or would you look for the best possible critic? See, you are your own worst critic because you don't know what you're critiquing. All you do is, what you really mean is, you're hard on yourself when you make mistakes. Oh, God, I can't believe I did that. That was so stupid. I shouldn't have done that. That's not a critic, right? That's just being hard on yourself. Part of being a critic is understanding what was missed and what could have been better. Making a mistake is something we've all done a million times. I promise I've made more mistakes probably than all of you combined. I've done everything you can possibly do wrong. I've called the bride the wrong name. I've introduced, the bride and groom into the room as Mr. and Mr. Just everything that you can do. I've done it all. But the problem is you can't really be your own best critic, because if you knew what you were doing wrong, you would quit doing it already. I work with DJs all the time where I critique them either on video or in person. And we did hundreds of DJs in our workshops, and I would see them do the same thing that they've been doing forever with, no complaints, but they don't even know it's wrong. That's why they're doing it. And it's not even that it's wrong so much as it could be a lot better. You could get way better results. Instead of doing it this way, if you change, again, this is the 1% solution. If you just changed a little bit how you did that, you'd get a completely different result. So stop being your own worst critic, and you have to, if you want to get the best critic, it can't be you. It just can't. It doesn't work that way. It has to be a fresh set of eyes. It doesn't, listen to this carefully, it doesn't even need to be somebody who's better than you, right? The best baseball coaches weren't the best players. In fact, most of the best players turned out to be not very good at coaching, right? Because they just go, we'll just do it better. Well, I can't. I don't have that skill. I don't have that talent that you have. So, but you have to find somebody who's good. You don't want to find somebody who's bad. You at least need to know somebody who understands the fundamentals. So that's why, going to a workshop, one of my workshops, I don't know if that will ever happen again, but those who have attended my workshops know, or Mike Walter, or Mark Farrell, Bill Herman. I mean, there's so many people that are teaching these workshops, people that know what they're doing. And you may not agree with everything, right? A batting coach will tell you to, get your hands up a little higher, and then the next batting coach will tell you to move them down a little bit, right? So they're trying different ideas. They're trying to get you a better result. But if you just keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting, and you do want to improve, right? So stop being your own worst critic. You can beat yourself up for mistakes if you want, but if you do all the things you're supposed to do in the process, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, if you do the process correctly and you stack the deck in your favor, things are going to work out way more often than not. Now the question is, how far can we take this, right? How can we get the crowd to genuinely, enthusiastically, spontaneously erupt into, monstrous cheering, excitement, applause, without saying, make some noise, right? There's a better way to do that. And so, I see DJs be their own worst critic. And when I would go out with them, I would say, so tell me let's start with what you saw tonight that you want to critique. And without exception, and it would always be like, oh, I so screwed up the blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't care. I care about, if you called the bride the wrong name, we're not going to critique that. You know that was wrong. What I will critique is, what did you do right after that? How did you respond to the mistake, right? So again, I'm wrapped up in baseball all the time. If you're a pitcher and you walk a guy and you get completely rattled, and you get so rattled that you groove the next one right down the middle of the plate because you're rattled from the walk, which was a mistake, right? You didn't mean to. You knew you weren't trying to do that. But now you get rattled and you groove one right down the middle of the plate. Now it's a 2-run home run. Now you got a problem, right? But if you instead go, okay, the process is I've got a guy on first base. I need a double play. So what I need to throw is something low in the strike zone, preferably a breaking ball down low that they'll pound into the ground and let my defense do the work for me. That's the process. So the critique I would have is not the walk, unless, again, if you're walking a 125 hitter, throw one down the middle of the plate, take your chances, right? So I don't want to go all too much baseball here, but it has to do with how you critique yourself. Stop being your own worst critic. Find your best critic. They're out there. Find somebody that you respect, that you like, and say, come with me, and pay them. Because if you pay them, you'll listen to them. And if you pay them, they will do the work properly and say, I'm not looking for compliments. I already think I'm the greatest. So I'm not looking for compliments. What I want from you is, I want you to see things that I could have done to get a better result. I hope that helps you. Stop being your own worst critic. I'll do that for you. See you.